Hey guys, coming at you today with a delicious fudgy keto chocolate chunk brownie recipe. So let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, thanks for joining me. My name's Alicia and I'm a sous chef with a sweet tooth. And here we make delicious pastries, many from my time as a pastry chef. And my goal is to make the best keto desserts possible. So if you enjoyed these recipes, please consider hitting the subscribe button down there, the thumbs up button. It all helps my channel grow and to bring you new keto desserts every Saturday. Today, a delicious fudgy chocolate chunk brownie recipe. Now, I have one on my channel already. I'll link it up there. If you want to make that one, it is delicious. But as a pastry chef, I go to what I know. And what I know to make brownies is baker's chocolate, butter, and then a bunch of other ingredients. And because our ingredients are drying, I added more ingredients. So it's a little complicated of a recipe. It is delicious though. But this one, I went outside my, knowledge of brownie making. And I figured out another recipe that has a little bit less ingredients, and I made a big batch so we can freeze individual portions. And with these, they're less than a gram of net carbs each if you cut them into 24 brownies. So they're super low carb, and you can add on your keto ice cream on top and not feel guilty. So to get started here, I already greased a 9x13 pan and just put one layer of parchment paper into the pan just to make it easier to come out. It does stick a little bit if you don't put the parchment, but just grease it well if you don't have parchment paper. And because this doesn't take super long to put together, I'm going to preheat my oven to 350 degrees. Now, of course, there are a couple tricks and things that you need to know for this brownie recipe. The first thing is I have 2 sticks of butter in here, and I have some powdered monkfruit sweetener, and I have allulose. Now, I did this because I wanted to cut down on the amount of erythritol in the brownies. Too much upsets my stomach. Same thing, some people have a sensitivity to allulose, so you can use straight erythritol if you want, or you can do all powdered monk fruit. But just remember, your powdered monk fruit is twice as sweet as a regular granular monk fruit sweetener. So I have a cup of each in here, allulose and monk fruit. But if you do all powdered monk fruit, you only need another half cup of powdered monk fruit instead of the allulose, because allulose is a little less sweet and the powdered monk fruit is much sweeter. And we're gonna start by using a paddle attachment, or you can use a hand mixer for this. But you wanna whip this for a good 5 minutes, because that ensures you're not gonna have crystals of sugar crunching in your brownie. Yeah, I tried it without it. It was crunchy. Start low first, because you don't want your powdered sweetener all over the place. I sifted and weighed that right into the bowl. It's so much easier to weigh your ingredients. It takes you a lot less time measuring and stuff too, because you have to sift it before you measure it because there's clumps. So if you sift it right into the bowl on a scale, it makes it super fast. Now that that's mostly combined, I'm gonna crank it up to about 6 on my mixer. And I'm gonna time it. But I am gonna stop and scrape down a couple times. You see you got powdered sweetener and some butter that wasn't incorporated yet. Then you can just let this go for 5 minutes. I'd scrape down one more time in that 5 minutes. While this is going, you weigh or measure, sift your dry ingredients together, and whisk them to get them all nice and combined. Now, I used salted butter in this recipe, but if you use unsalted, definitely add some salt into your dry ingredients, about a half a teaspoon. I'm also using a salted chocolate, so that adds a little bit of salt too to your brownies. Now that this is light and fluffy, and all our sugar is combined, you can feel it's not grainy anymore. It's not as grainy as it was when you first started. You can actually feel the granules if you don't have it whipped enough. Now I got 4 room temperature eggs here. I did forget to pull them out, so I just soaked them in some warm water, but you definitely want them room temperature. So add an egg, mix, scrape, add an egg, mix, scrape, and that's it. Okay, once that's fully mixed, your 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. Mix it up. And now that that's all set, I'm gonna talk about my sifted dry ingredients here. Now, to make our baked goods more like regular baked goods, we need extra ingredients like xanthan gum to make it more like regular baked goods. So all I have in here is some xanthan gum, a tiny bit of coconut flour, and I used Isopure Dutch cocoa whey protein. That adds a little bit of sweetness also, so we don't have to add any extra stevia or anything like my other recipe. You also don't have to use the chocolate whey protein. You can use any chocolate flavored protein you have. Like I had a cookies and cream Isopure, and I used that and it tasted delicious also. And also I had a perfect keto protein powder that I used that was a chocolate. That added a couple more carbs. This Isopure is 0 carbs for 2 scoops of that protein powder. So all that is in here, and then the cocoa powder I added. This is the one that I found. It has 0 carbs in it. Everything is sifted together, weighed, and mixed. We're gonna add half the dry ingredients to the bowl. I'm gonna give that a little mix. Give it a scrape down. All that cocoa powder gets stuck. You get to the bottom. At this point, I take the bowl and paddle off of my KitchenAid. To get all the batter off, I turn it on and lift it up. Spray it all over the kitchen. But it gets most of it off the paddle. Get rid of this guy. Out of our way. And then for the add-ins, what I chose was this Lily's Sea Salt Dark Chocolate Bar. I'm gonna add 1.5. You probably could go up to 2 and have even more chunks, or you can just use chocolate chips, whatever you prefer. But these two together, it's about 4.2 ounces of chocolate. So we're going to chop this up and add it to the rest of our dry ingredients and then fold it into our brownie mix. And I'm actually gonna measure this too, because I haven't measured. If you don't want to use a bar, or if you don't want to measure out 4.2 ounces, let you know how much it is. It's probably gonna be about a cup of chocolate, I'd say. It said you can't add more. This adds a total of 6 carbs to your brownies. Pretty much whatever you choose is what's gonna determine how many carbs your whole pan of brownies is. I cut them in half last time. I'm gonna keep them kind of big this time though. If I had another half a bar, I would add it to it. That's all I have of that one. Bought 3 bars and did all the testing and only ended up with 1.5 left. So it's just shy of a cup of chocolate chunks. I'm gonna add the rest of this into our mix. Give it a stir. I'm gonna make sure it's all really combined, all the way down to the bottom. And it looks good. So we take our prepared pan, get it all in there. I shoot batter all over the kitchen. I always make a mess. Hey, the easiest way is taking a mini offset spatula, getting it all the way to the edge. Chunk of chocolate in there. That looks so good already. We're gonna pop these into the oven for about 24 to 28 minutes. You don't want to over bake them. We are gonna turn halfway through so that they bake evenly. See you back here when they come out of the oven. Unfortunately, they have to cool for a while before you can cut into them. We'll be back soon. Hey, I pulled them out at 24 minutes. They're still soft in the middle and done around the edges. So hopefully we'll get a nice fudgy center on these guys. Do not want to overbake. So I'm gonna let these cool on the counter for a while, and then we can come back and pull them out of here and slice them up and give them a try. These guys have been cooling for about an hour now, and it is warm in my house, so they're not going to get much cooler than they are right now. So it's time to get these out of the pan and to slice them up. As you can see, they're coming away from the parchment already. So if you put parchment all the way around, you're going to have an easier time getting them out. But I'm just going to take my offset spatula and run along the edges. And the nice thing about the parchment paper is you can pick it right up. Right down on your cutting board. Gonna have a whole plate of brownies. Now the macros on these guys, 16 pieces, 1 net carb per brownie. I'm gonna do 24 because I just want a little brownie that I can keep in the freezer and pull out and top with whatever I want. I was thinking about this, peanut butter or some whipped cream and berries. So many possibilities. Just pop it in the microwave for like 30 seconds and it's defrosted and warm. You can top it with whatever you want. So to cut these into 24 pieces, you go roughly down the middle, straight through, and then into thirds. Try to mark it out first. Right there. Might have went a little crooked on the middle there. You really should have hot water and a paper towel to wipe off your knife. Fudgy. And then you cut them into 4. Now, are you a corner piece or a middle piece person? I'm a middle piece person. I like it soft and gooey. Chocolate chips are still melty in there. Super fudgy. Oh. I cut the rest of these up and get them on my plate. Whole plate of fudgy keto brownies. They look so good. Gotta make some keto ice cream. I'm actually out. I need some. Top these delicious brownies with. Yummy middle piece. Looks so fudgy. You can add anything you want into these. Them being so low carb, so many possibilities. Man, that's good. I do suggest the salted chocolate because it adds that little bit of sea salt with the super sweet brownie. Soft and moist, fudgy. Oh, can't wait to eat it with some ice cream. I gotta make some soon. Oh man, I want to eat this whole plate of brownies. I'm one of those people that can eat multiples of these. That's why I keep them in the freezer and only pull out one at a time. Less ingredients than my other one. My other ones are delicious. They have a lot of extra ingredients though. These have minimal ingredients and they taste amazing. They don't fall apart. They're nice and moist and soft. Oh, they're so good. I hope you guys try out this recipe for yourself. Let me know in the comments below if you do and how everybody enjoyed it. And let me know what your favorite kind of brownies are. There's so many different kinds of brownies. When we were younger, it was cream cheese brownies. And I may be trying that soon too. Make sure you check out my Amazon links and my blog link to the full recipe in the description box below. Subscribe and give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And as always, I'll be back with many more keto dessert recipes. Bye guys.